Dandi March was taken out by Gandhi Ji from Dash to Dandi in Gujarat during 1930. You're right. Ahmedabad is the correct answer.
The diagram shows Dash method of separation of substances.
Well picked. Filtration is the correct answer.
People can dash in the Dead Sea because it's very salty.
Nicely done. Float is a solid answer.
The state shown in yellow color is called Dash.
You got it. Your choice Gujarat is right.
This picture shows the process of making.
Well done. Salt is the right choice.
The Dead Sea is very dash.
Valid point. Salty is true. Identify the person.
You chose the Peroni, and it is correct.
Substances that do not get dissolved in the water are called as insoluble substances.
Great thinking. True is the right choice.
True or false? A cup of sugar water is made up of more than one type of molecule.
Strong choice. True is the right answer.
Which of the following countries territory share border with Dead Sea? Or
Nice work. You chose all of these and it is correct.
the continuous movement of water within the earth and atmosphere is called the
Excellent. Water cycle is a brilliant choice.
It isn't important to save water because there is so much of it on Earth.
Right again. False is a valid answer.
Things which dissolve easily into the water are called as dissolvable.
Sharp thinking. True is the right choice.
Rain, snow, sleet or hail that falls to or condense on the ground means.
Perfect. Precipitation is the correct choice.
The quantity of salt dissolved per liter of water in the Dead Sea is.
Nice selection. 365 gmms is the correct and valid answer.
If a material does not dissolve in a liquid, it is said to be dash.
Smart pick. Insoluble is the correct choice.
When we add black pepper powder to water, it is dash in water.
Solid response. Insoluble is a valid choice.
Select true or false. Ship is heavy, so it will sink in water.
Smart move. False is an accurate answer.
Gandhiji undertook a march from Ahmedabad to Dash in Gujarat.
Right choice. Dandi is the best answer.
Which of these below given things can be dried under the sun?
Excellent choice. All of the above is the right answer.
Which one of the following is not an example of evaporation?
Good job. Your answer cloud formation works well here.
Which one of the following is not a stage of the water cycle?
Correct. Purification is the right answer.
If I dissolve carbon dioxide in water, what is the solvent? Bravo, water is the answer. Question of the day: from which of these animals climb trees? Exactly. Crocodile makes sense and it is right choice. Life jackets are used by people in order to dash in water. Great job. Float is the accurate answer. In lemonade, sugar and lemon are dash and water is a dash. Correct response. Solute, solvent is the most accurate answer. Which force is exerted on the objects immersed in water? Clear logic. Your choice buoyant force is sound and 100% true. The process of changing water to water vapor is called. Good thinking. Evaporation is the right answer.
When ice is heated to its melting point, it melts into. Well reasoned. Water is the correct choice. The process of changing water into ice is called dash.
On track. Freezing is the correct answer.
We can get salt from seawater by the process of dash. Excellent. Evaporation is a brilliant choice.
Gandhiji broke salt law on 6th April 1930 at dash.
Clear logic. Your choice giving Gujarat is sound and 100% true. Things dissolves dash after heating into the water. Nice work. You chose faster, and it is correct. Chalk powder gets dissolved easily into the water. Correct response. False is the most accurate answer. Which force is exerted by Earth on all the objects? Smart move. Gravitational force is an accurate answer. Which of the following is called universal solvent? Right again. Water is a valid answer. Things which dissolve in water are called as dash. Nice selection. Soluble is the correct and valid answer. Which of the following can be dissolved in water? Good thinking. Salt is the right answer. What is the most saltiest water body in the world? Good job. Your answer Dead Sea works well here. For making salt, water is allowed to dry in dash. Smart pick. Sun is the correct choice. The principle of floating and sinking depends on. Well done. Density is the right choice. If I dissolve salt in water, what is the solute? Sharp thinking. Salt is the right choice. Out of these objects, which will sink in water? Exactly. Stone makes sense, and it is right choice. Which of the following will float in the water? Perfect. Plastic balls is the correct choice. Dandy March was started from Ahmedabad on dash. Well reasoned. 12 March 1930 is the correct choice. Rainwater harvesting helps in dash of water. Well picked. Conservation is the correct answer. Oil water does not get mixed into the water. You're right. True is the correct answer. The saltiest water body in the world is dash. Nicely done. Dead Sea is a solid answer. Dash Sea is the saltiest among all the seas. You chose Dead Sea, and it is correct. Iron nail dash in water, but the Katori dash. Bravo sinks, floats is the answer. Change of water into water vapor is called. Great thinking. Evaporation is the right choice. We should not waste a single drop of water. You got it. Your choice true is right. Which of these objects will sink in water? Valid point. Iron nail is true. Which of the following will sink in water? Great job.
Coin is the accurate answer. Bottle full of water. Dash into the water. Strong choice. Sinks is the right answer. Dash are made up of solutes and solvents. Right choice. Solutions is the best answer.
Which is the saltiest lake of the world?
On track. Dead Sea is the correct answer. Which object will not dissolve in water?
Excellent choice. Sand is the right answer. Sand and flour are insoluble substances.
Correct. True is the right answer.
In which subject Al-Biruni is skilled at? Solid response. Math and physics is a valid choice.
Piece of ice floats in sugarcane juice.
You chose true, and it is correct. The Dandi March incident took place in. Good thinking. 1930 is the right answer. Salt is made by the following process. Well done. Evaporation is the right choice. Step wells are also called as bowlis. Great thinking. True is the right choice. Empty plastic bottle dash on water. Solid response. Floats is a valid choice. What are things that sink in water? Good job. Your answer pin works well here. Which is an example of a solvent? Right again. Water is a valid answer. Why the Dandi March was happened? Sharp thinking. To break salt law is the right choice. The Dandi March is also called as. You got it? Your choice, the Salt March, is right. The color of pure water is dash. Smart pick. Colorless is the correct choice. Heavy things will dash in water. Nice work. You chose sink and it is correct. Common salt is soluble in water. Right choice. True is the best answer. Things that float on water are. Strong choice. Boat is the right answer. Which puree will float on water? Perfect. Fried puree is the correct choice. Gandhiji broke salt law on dash. You're right. 6th April is the correct answer. Our planet Earth is called dash. Correct. Blue planet is the right answer. Dandi March was started by dash. Great job. Mahatma Gandhi is the accurate answer. Aluminum foil floats on water. Bravo. True is the answer. There are dash states of water. Excellent. 3 is a brilliant choice. Oil doesn't dissolve in water. Exactly. True makes sense and it is right choice. Do rubber bands sink or float? Nicely done. Float is a solid answer. A puffed puree dash in water. Well reasoned. Floats is the correct choice. A paper will dash in water. Smart move. Float is an accurate answer. Lemon floats in salty water. Valid point. Water is denser is true. The Dead Sea has dash water. Excellent choice. Salty is the right answer. Ice is dash form of water. On track. Solid is the correct answer. No one sinks in dash sea.
Correct response. Dead Sea is the most accurate answer.
Salt tax was put by dash. Nice selection. British Gov is the correct and valid answer.
Define the term soluble.
Well picked. Can dissolve in water is the correct answer.
Does oil sink in water? Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true. Dash plus solvent equal to dash. Clear logic. Your choice solution is sound and 100% true. Stones dash in water.
Great thinking. Sinks is the right choice.
Dead Sea is a dash. Smart pick. Lake is the correct choice. Water helps in. Valid point. All of the above is true. Dandy March. Perfect. To break salt law is the correct choice. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Excellent choice. Contact Narayan Changdar on Facebook is the right answer.